Hello, today I'm going to be talking about the third week of the second packet of Washoe County School District K-2 Distance Learning Plan. We are going to go to page 91 for the English directions and 99 for the Spanish directions. As you can see, the format is the same as the previous weeks where they have the days of the week on top. They are going to open up with an optimistic opener. There are 5 bullets, so you could do one for every day, or you could just pick a few and just do those throughout the week, okay? Again, we have a brain break, so if your child is working really hard and they need to be refocused, they could take a brain break and then get back to work, okay? There are 5 here. Again, you could do one every day if you want. The literacy reading standards is the same as the previous weeks. They're going to be reading 20 minutes. You can be reading 20 minutes, they can be reading 20 minutes, or you can split it into 10 and 10, okay? So again, options for books, they can read the books around the house. You can go to the Libby online Washoe County Library app, benchmark materials from the school, or if they have a clever login, they can do that. Magazines and newspapers will count as well. Everything will be logged in on page 108. All right, writing standards. This week, we're going to be reading an article called Working Dogs. That's going to be page 109. And the first time that you go through it, you're going to read it to them. And then the second time you're going to read it to them and they're going to annotate the article, just like they did with the gravity article in the previous weeks. Okay, that is going to be on page page 7. Okay, so let's look at the article first. Again, page 109. And you can see that it's a pretty lengthy article, okay? So make sure that you read this whole article to them the first time. The second time, you're going to read it again, but you're going to your child's going to annotate it as you read it, okay? So let's go to page 107 really quick. If you remember from the gravity article, we used this to annotate. This time you're going to be using it again. So this part, you're going to be circling maybe 3 facts that you've learned or that your child learned in the Working Dogs article. They're going to circle words that they know, put a star about things that are interesting, a happy face about things that excite them, or maybe underline some words that they're not sure and that you can explain a little bit further. Okay, so that's the annotation diagram here that you guys are going to use on the second time of your reading. Okay, and if I go back to the article, I did a few examples of what that looks like. So I circled a word that I knew, I put a star by something that was interesting, I put a 1 by my first fact that I learned. Okay, so and then you would go through the whole thing like that. Okay, if you find another fact, this would be a number 2 instead of a 1, okay? So when you go for the third time, so you read it once, you read it again, they're annotating as you read it, okay? And then the next time, they are going to respond to the article. So maybe how they feel, maybe something that they learned, maybe a couple of sentences, okay? So if we go to page 111, that's where that is, the response part. So here's a paper that they can use with a word bank. Okay, they can maybe pick some words out of here and write a few sentences that they learned about the article. They could definitely use the back, maybe draw a picture of something that reminds them of the story or something that they found interesting in the story that reflects it. And then a couple sentences, so maybe like 2 sentences about the story. So pulling those facts from the article and writing them right here. Just kind of like you did with the gravity article, okay? So read it again and have them annotate it, and then have them write their response. Okay, that's 3 things, 3 days, or all in one day, it doesn't matter. But if you want to space it out, you could do it in 3 days. Okay, so that will be that. And then for literacy foundation skills, we're going to be playing change a word again, but round 2. and then Brainstorm Race round 2. So we've played these games before. This one's a little bit different. The first time we asked you to just change the middle sound. This time we're going to change the beginning sound and the middle sound. So bat, if I change B to an S and A to an I have sit now. So for another example, cup, if I had the word cup and I changed the C to a T and a U to an A, now I have tap. Okay, so your child's going to be changing two letters, the beginning sound and the middle sound, and keeping the end sound. Okay, I will put a YouTube link of the game in the description box, and I believe that only has the middle sound being changed. So just make sure that they're changing the 2 sounds in the front. You're going to do that with 10 words. The second game to play is Brainstorm Race again. Remember you wrote down the category and they had to write the maybe five or so things underneath that category. Okay. Remember you could do one day, you could do one another day. Just try to do at least 3 categories and have them write what goes underneath, so they're practicing their writing skills. Okay. Again, these are the same games as the first week of the packet. So for math, again, it's show what you know on page 112 to 116 and the math tactile board. We've been doing this in this packet every week, so you should be pretty familiar with it. The games of the week, again, let me back up. If we go to page 112, and I always recommend just using one board game to keep track of your games. So again, you can do tic-tac-toe and do 4 in a row, diagonally, vertically or horizontally. Okay. And just to keep track on there. Okay. So remember there are 4 of each. So 4 games, 4 problems, 4 let's move, 4 counts, and mental math. Okay. So if you're going to do blackout, you have to make sure that you're doing all 4 of each one. Okay. If you're just doing tic-tac-toe, then make sure you have 4 in a row. Okay. So let's go back to the math. Okay. We have games of the week here. We've played all these games so far, and most of them will have YouTube links in the description box. Okay, so we have 4 in a row, rolling for 50, high roller, and addition war. These 2 have YouTube links on how to play them, as well as 4 in a row. Rolling for 50 does not. Okay, if you're going to play blackout, you need to do all 4 of them. Okay. Let's move activity again. Remember, you give them a problem and they have to solve the answer and use the answer with their body. Okay. So one of the problems for kindergarten is 3 triangles plus 3 triangles. So they have to solve it with their body to make 6. So six parts of their body need to be on the ground. Okay. And showing it in somehow. If you're playing, blackout, you need to come up with 3 more problems, maybe that equal under 10. You could be addition or subtraction. Okay. Problems of the week. These are coming from the Bridges Mathematics that we've been doing this year. There are 2 here that they're going to solve, but if you want to do blackout, maybe use these 2 to help you do the 4. Okay. Now this one is counting activity for us, for kinder and first grade. The title is here, but it's on the next page. I just didn't want you to be confused with that. Okay. So that goes with this. So for this one, you're going to have them grab 11 to 19 objects. Just call out a number and they're going to grab them. So it could be Legos, rocks, beads, cereal, whatever that's small. And you're going to call out a number and they have to put it in 2 piles. So if it's the number 16 and they got 16 Legos, they're going to put it in a set of 10 and then 6 more. Okay. So if you do, 14, it would be a set of 10 and then 4. Okay. To make that number. So if you're going to do blackout, you need to do that 3 more times with different numbers. okay, to repeat. All right. Again, the extension is always provided for you for an activity of the day. Just go to this website. And that, let me just show you again what that looks like on a Show What You Know board. Okay, so if I did the counting on, then, and I gave the number 14 and I had Legos, I would set it aside and make a pile of 10 and then 4 extra. And that just kind of shows you what that looks like there. Okay, and I would cross off counting on my tic-tac-toe board. All right, science. You're going to go outside and find a set of rocks. Doesn't matter how many. And you're going to carefully observe the rocks. And then you're going to sort them on how they look or how they feel or something like that. Any kind of category. So if you put all the bumpy rocks in a pile, that would be the bumpy pile. If you put all the smooth rocks together, that would be the smooth pile. Or maybe big rocks together and small rocks together. Okay. And then your child's going to choose one rock and draw it and describe it. So again, these lines are a little bit small. So if you want to take a separate piece of paper or that self-made journal we were talking about in the previous weeks and write down their descriptions, that'd be great. Okay. Social studies, this one is just going to be 2. They're going to draw the picture of the weather and make sure that they label with words and phrases of the weather, like clouds and sun and sky. You're going to discuss with them what the weather was like and what kind of activities they can do outside. Okay. And then how they would be different from the last week. Okay. Again, that could be in the journal as well. Okay. All right. And then we have our reflective closer. Again, there's 5, so you could do 1 for every day. And then our music, of course, we're still going on with our music bingo. You can also visit Mr. Benson's music channel. I'll link that down below on YouTube. But if we just take a look at the music bingo. Oops. That would look something like this. Okay. We're still working on it, so I'm going to clear out these for this week. Okay, so I can make sure that I get a blackout. But if you want to do bingo, then you need to make sure, again, it's diagonal, horizontal, or vertical. Okay, and you can always hop on to Mr. Benson's music channel. Okay, so that concludes week 3. If you have any questions, please ask your teacher. You can definitely, I'll link those other games in the description box so you can kind of click on those to see how to play the games. Other than that, I hope you have a great week. And again, we miss you guys and we hope everything is going well in your house. Please reach out to your teacher if you need anything. Have a great day. Bye.